Okay, so yesterday we talked about these major components that we need to define in the system. We talk about enterprise structure, where we said enterprise structure is where you define a company, you define a company code, you define your business area, your credit control area, your functional area, and yeah, these are the major things we said. And done with this define controlling area as well, and we do assignment of company code to company. These are major things that needs to be done on under enterprise, right? So I'll quickly go into the system now. I'll go to SAP. I'm sure you all can see my screen. So I'm logging into SAP now. I'm using this parameter. So I'll use this 600 as well. Just then, oh no, no, sorry. Someone should confirm you are seeing my SAP screen.
Yes, you can see it.
Good. So now I'll just quickly go to SPRO, and I'm sure we've shown this part yesterday. And yesterday we've been able to define a company, right? Let's quickly see the company we created. Go to definition, then go to financial accounting. I'm sure you know all these parts already. So click on define company. Then I'll quickly click on position. Now I want to confirm the company I've created is in the system, right? So I click on position. Then I'll click on JY. This is the company code. So you need to write down the company code you have. You need to write down some key thing somewhere, right? Because I already know I use JY01, so I'll just click enter. You can see this is my company, right? I could put the company here to as name of company too, but it's not necessary. This is okay for me. So I've saved it. Now, I told you that there's a transport that will be triggered at the point of creating any or doing any customizable item. So I'll open another screen. Then how do you see what do you call it? How do you see how do you see what do you call it? The transport you have created is what I'm about to do. So let me try something. Let's see if I'll be able to see it from this end. I want to show you the path to get to the transport organizer, right? So to get to transport organizer, what you just need to do, as you can see from my from the screen here, logistics. You go through logistic execution. You go to what do you call it? Internal warehouse processes. You go to communication with external system. You go to ALE administration. You go to services. You go to customizing data. Then you come to SC01, which is transport organizer. But you may not really know how to get through this part. What you just need to do is to type SE01, SE01. You may not necessarily use capital S or capital E. You can just put SE01. The system recognizes that this is the transaction that you want to perform. So upon clicking SE01, you click enter, it will take you to the transport organizer, transport environment. However, let me go back. I did something, it's like a magic to you, but I know what I did was to say find. So I'm on SAP menu, and what I did was to just click on Control F, right? I'll close all these things again. What I did was to click on Control F. So Control F is to quickly search for an item in the system, especially when you are on the GUI SAP menu. So I'm using Control F on my keyboard. Then let's assume I want to look for FB50. So I'll just type FB50, which is journal to journal. Click enter, and then it will take me to wherever FB50 is. From there, I could see the part, right? You can see FB50 is under financial accounting, general ledger, documentary, and FB50. And I've explained what FB50 does. I've explained what journal to journal does, or journal to journal, right? I've explained all this in our past class. So let me just quickly go to SC01. I'll go to SC01. I'll just use the command bar, SC01. Now, this is SE01 environment. The user, which is my user, I was the one, the user would, if I'm to check for another user now, I can always look for another user. But I want to look at the transports which I have created, which me personally have created. And that's why I'm coming to this environment. That's why I'm using my username. But if you have any other user person, a username of any other person, you can put the username of the person and search for the transport. Now, there are some things here. You see customizing requests, you see workbench requests, you see transport of copies, you see relocation. Now, these items are items that will help you to filter or to drill down to the type of transport which you have set up in the system. The one I did is customizing requests, correct? Because I'm trying to do a customization and it's a request type customizing request. And that's why you see it as customizing request, right? So now you see request status. Now you see modifiable, you see released, right? Modifiable is that you have not released the transport request. Modifiable is that you can still do some additional entry or setup or additional, you can still add additional objects in the transport. That's what modifiable means, right? You can still do some editing, you can still add some other object to the transport request. That's what that modifiable means. Released mean that any transport that has been released is ready to be moved to another client, is ready to be moved or to be transported to another environment. That's what release means. Whenever you finish whenever you set up a transport, whenever you have a transport request, you need to release it. So when you release that transport, that's only when the transport can be moved to another client. Remember, you need to release a transport for a transport request to be ready to be moved to another client. And I told you what we use this transport to do. You create a transport code or a transport request and give it to a basis person. A basis person, which is the system administrator, would take you use that transport request to what to move whatever configuration you have done or whatever object you are trying to move to the next client. And here I've said this is, let's assume this environment is the development environment. Whatever you do here will now be moved to the QAS, which is the quality environment, where you do robust testing. Then you now move it to production, where you go live, right? So now modifiable. We have not released the transport, so it's still under modifiable. You can actually do a two check. You can do this two check and click on display, right? Or you click on enter on your keyboard. It will take you to the screen, right? To see now, this modifiable and this release, what it means that you want to see transport that have been modified, or you want to also see transport that has been released, right? That's what it means. I'll click on display, and then as you can see, as you can see on this place now, I've seen that someone has created Pacific CO,
It was me.
Pacific CO.
I
I
was the
know,
one that
Mohammed
created it.
Bakar. Yes, I know you created it. I know because I've seen it that it is you that have created it. You can see this is the what do you call it? Because Mohammed is also using this client. He's using this user. So I think he's the only one using this user for now. And so that's why I could see what he has done. So I also created one yesterday, which is FI Enterprise Setup for Joy Company. Look at it here. FI Enterprise Setup for Company. Now, there are two transport requests, or there is one called parent and there's one called child. You can call it parent and child co-file, right? You can call it parent and child file. So you can see this one is 3806, while this one is 3805, right? This transport request now, this is, if you double click it, you see, if you know, I expanded it, right? I'll close it back. I expanded it and you can see it's showing IMG activity define company, right? The activity that I did was to define a company. It's showing me what I did, right? So somebody who is to, Ghanaian is up. So someone who is to look, Ghanaian, confirm that you have joined us. She in now. Ghanaian, confirm that you are with us now. Okay, I'm sure she's with us. Okay, so like I said, this is the activity you carried out, and that's why it's showing you the activity you have just carried out. Now, let me show you something. If you want to see now, if you can double click on this now, and it will take you to this environment where you can see the objects. You can see object name VT800. These are technical. You may not really understand what this thing means, right? You can come to property, right? To also see some other things or some other things that you have done. So this is a description of what you have done. Before I forget, I should also tell you something. Here, you will see the owner, which is the user. You see the client where you have done the setup, where the transport request reside. You see the status, and you see the time it was changed, right? As you can see, it's 21/01/2025 because you understand. So now, I'll go back now. Let's do something. So if you want to release a transport, if you want to release a transport, what do? You click on this place, you click on this place, you click on the child first. When you click on the child, then you click on car, this car that is doing like you want to move. Yeah, you see an icon with this car. You see release directly. The icon is released directly, but you see it's a vehicle. What this vehicle means that it's ready to move. So if you ensure that your cursor is on this, on the item you want to release, you can see my cursor is not here. My cursor is in the child of this one, right? Child of this one. This is the parent, this is the child. I'm clicking on this, and then I'll click on this place. See what happens when I click on it. See, it said tax A4 HK903806 have been released to request. It has been released to request what? To request 3085, 3805, which is this, right? Then the next thing you also need to do is to click on this. If you click on the parent now, you also do the same thing for the parent. You click on this release too, right? You click on it, then it will do all this magic, and then it has. You can click on refresh to tell you the status. You can see request and tax were selected. Now, if I go back now, and I click on modifiable, you won't be able to see it. Remember, I told you what modifiable means, right? As you can see from modifiable now, the only tax that is available here is what the Pacific CO item, because it has not been released, right? And that's the only item we could see here. This is the child of the Pacific, right? Because it's still modifiable, and that's why I could say. And I told you what modifiable means, right? Now, for release now, this code that I've released, if I'm to add another object to it, I can't add another object to it. You understand? I cannot add another object to it. It's just like you having a RAM. You have a RAM, and the RAM has a rope on its neck, right? And then you remove the rope, and you say the RAM. The moment you remove the rope, you say you want the RAM to run. The RAM has run. Imagine how you now think of you want to bath the RAM. Where is the RAM that you want to bath? The RAM has gone, so you cannot bath something that is not there, right? It's only when it's there that you can bath it. That's just what that analogy simplifies or explain what release and modifiable means, right? It is when you have the rope in the neck of the RAM that you can do what that you can wash it or you can bat it, right? But the moment you remove the rope, you say, I'm releasing you, move. And the ram has now gone. Now you now say you want to bat, it's impossible. So that's best explain what that means. So you can see it's called release, and you can see a check mark has been put by the side. Now this thing is ready to move. Now, if I send the transport code to a basis person, it will go. Now, how do you copy this transport code? How do you copy it? Will you be writing on Excel one by one? No. What you can do if you want to copy on SAP, the shortcut to copy is to click on Control Y. When you click on Control Y, what Control Y will do is to enable you to select. Now, when you select it, I said Control Y will enable you to select. You can see when I click on Control Y, you can see the plus sign came up. Control Y on my keyboard would allow you to have a plus sign. I'm sure you guys have book and something that you're writing all these things down. Now you select. I've selected. Now you can see the cursor, the plus sign has gone, right? Because I've selected. The next thing you need to do is to what? Is to Control C. You can click Control C on your keyboard. Now Control C. And as I click Control C on my keyboard, you can see the selected item has gone. Now I've copied it already with that. If I click on Control V here now, you see it is here. It is here. So this is a short way to copy an item on SAP. You Control Y to select, you Control C to copy. I'll delete this because I do not need it. Now, that is all for this part. All these things are not things I'm supposed to be showing you. I'm just showing you for showing sake. It is not part of the module. It's something you go and learn on your own when you get to uh, a, to get to your work. Now, so let's leave this part. Let's leave this part and quickly go to, because I said we need to cover both enterprise and financial accounting global settings. So we need to move with the speed of light, even though we're explaining something. So we have defined a company. The next thing we need to do is what? Is to define a company code, right? So we define a company code now. So you can see define company code, right? So you click on this define company code. When I click on it, see what came up, right? This is what came up. Then the next thing you do is to do what? Is to click on edit company code data. Click on edit company code data, right? Remember, click edit company code data. If you click on copy, delete, check company code, what it does is that it will want you to copy a setup of an existing company code. It will want you to pick a setup of an existing company code, which is not correct, which is not good for you when you're just learning. It's not good to be copying when you're just learning. It's better you do your setup from from what they call it from scratch, right? So I'll click on edit company code data. And mind you, sometimes when you're even copying, it will copy some parameter you do not know where it's copying it from. And then you'll be running up and down to fix error and all that. So it's always better to just, but most time, for those who are already experts in the system, they just do what? They just copy and they move. That's what they will do. So are you guys still hearing me?
Yes,
If you guys are still hearing me, just put it in the what they call in the text. I want to confirm from the text. Just go to the text and write that you are hearing me. Please quickly do that. If you are hearing me, just go to the text and write that you are hearing me. Let me see if I can see the text message. Okay. We can hear you, sir. Is that correct? 8:32. Okay, that's good. Confirm again. Yes, sir. I can hear you. Oh, good. Thank you very much, Ganya. 8:32. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you that you can hear me. So let's continue now. Let's continue. I do. Oh, thank you, Mr. Okay. Thank you. You can hear me. Thank you. I can hear that. Okay, that's fine. So let's continue. Let's continue. So now, um, you see the easiest way to quickly reach me at this point. If you have anything you want to say, quickly drop it on the chat. Quickly drop it on the chat. I will see it. Right now, let's continue. So now we want to define our company code. Right. So what we want to do is to what is to click on new entry. I'll click on new entry. I'm sure you all see what I clicked. The new entry. Let me go out of this place so that you guys will see it again. You click on new entry. Are we together? You click on new entry. Now, what you do on company code, I told you the company code, you can use 4 alphanumeric keyword, which is essential to do anyway. So what I will do is to say GY, I'm using the zero, the same, what they call it, GY01 that I use for my company. I'll use it the same thing. Now, on the company name, I also put the same thing, which is Joy Companies Limited, right? Or I think I'm using Joy, so it's Joy is fine. Joy Company Limited, right? So the city is FCT, and I've explained all these things yesterday. Why this time? I don't need to go back there. I've explained what all these things means. Country, I'll pick Nigeria, which is NG. You can go inside, you can see it has come up because I know it's NG. But you can go inside to look for the country you want to use, whether you want to use Atlanta, whether you want to use Saudi Arabia, you want to use Dubai or United Arab Emirates. You can see United Arab Emirates, right? But we are in Nigeria, so the company is in Nigeria, so I'll just use NG. The currency I'm using is NGN because I spent Naira. Hmm? The language is EN, which is English. I'm using EN. You can see the language is denoted with what? EN. I'll click on EN, then I'll click on save. Upon clicking save, there will be a pop-up that will come up again, which is this one that you are seeing on my screen. So you see it want me to put what kind of company. Is it a company? Is it an individual company? So it's a company. So I'll click on company, then I'll still put Joy, what do you call it here too? I'll put Joy Company, Joy Company. Good. So now, if I want to search for company, what do I use to search? That's what this search term means. I'll say Joy is what I want you to use to search if you want to search for your company code, right? Now, the street, I'll say T.Y. Danjuma. I love T.Y. Danjuma Street. So I love to use it. I'll say 32. I know Mohammed will be smiling there now. So under postal code, I'll put 9901. Then the city again, I'll put FCT. Then country, I'll put NG like I've done. Now this region means that where is the country is, where is the business located? And I'll be using FC, which is Abuja. So this is FC Abuja. FC. I'll use FC Abuja. So you can select any other places that your country, what do you call it, that your businesses or the company is located. So I'll pick FC now. Now, then other things. If you have other things, you can always populate it here. But I'll just leave it now. I'll leave it, or I'll leave others. So if you have a telephone number, you can always put telephone number. If you have some other things, you could always put it. I'll click on this check mark, which is copy, or I just click and enter on my keyboard, right? As you can see, I've clicked on enter on my keyboard. See what happened. Upon clicking enter, because the customizable thing is telling me that do I want to save on the transport request that's been recent, that is recent, or that was recently done in the system, which is Pacific CO. But I'll say no, that's not what I want to use. You click on this now if you want to go to the one you have done before. Now click on this. Mind you, if I click on it, you see that the one I released is no longer there. Do you notice that? The one I released is no longer there. So you cannot add an object to a release item. This confirms my standpoint. Now, if that is the case, now I have to create another one. So I'll click on this create request. Then I'll click on short description. I'll say, let me just say, joy company setup. Right? I'll click on Joyce. I'll click enter on my keyboard. Then I'll click on continue. So every other setup I'll be doing, I'll be saving it on this particular one. Ideally, for every customizable thing you do, it's ideally you say you have a transport request for each. The reason is that if you lump everything inside, it will be difficult, and you give your transport request to a business person to move it to a client, and you now notice that there's a wrong configuration you have done. Do you know that wrong configuration would have flowed with that transport, and you cannot separate it? You can actually separate an object, but it's a difficult task to separate an object from the other objects. Only what you can do is to go back to your configuration and override what you have done and correct it and add it back to your transport, then move it. Right? So these are some of the things I need to just highlight with you. Now we have created a company code. What do we say we need to do now? Next, we need to assign the company to a company code. So I'll just close this place. I'll close it. So where do we do assignment? Mind you, there are things we have not defined actually, but I just need to clean. But before I go to assignment of company code to company, I want to show you something. I want to show you something because if I configure the system, imagine something. If I configure the system without showing you some certain thing that has warrant us to create these things, you will not understand the connection. You will not understand the connection. That why are we creating company code? I think I've explained it, but you may not still really get it. The reason why we're creating, you cannot post an entry when there is no company. If you do not have specific company, if you don't have specific company registered with CAC, how can you do a transaction with a specific company? If you don't have specific company created or registered with CAC, can you have a transaction with them? No, you cannot, because it's not they are not in existence, right? So for SAP, you need to create an existence for a company. That is why you need to define a company into the system. And the second thing is what? You need to define a company code. And I've explained what a company code, meaning a legal entity that I've explained all these parts, right? So now, let me just show some other proofs to you why company code is very, very key and very essential in the system. In fact, company code is the, what do you call it? It's where your financial statement will be drawn up. Your company code is what your financial statement is the key, or let me just use that word, is the key where all your financial statements will be drawn from, right? Let me show you something. I'll click on Control N. I'm going to another screen now. Let me show you something. For every report you want to draw, you for every not for almost all the reports you need to draw, you draw it on your company code. I repeat, for almost, because if I want to get financial statements of Pacific Company now or NNPC, if NNPC is not in existence, can I get financial statements on NNPC? No, I can't. Right? So they need to exist before I can get financial statements, right? And transaction must have existed before I can get financial statement on them. I'll show you something. Let's assume we want to show the financial statements. I think it's F dash or TB. Let's say TB, trial balance, F dash 08. Is where you do your GL balances. See what it's asking me. It's asking me for chart of account, it's asking me for company code. If you don't put this parameter, it will not allow you to go. And even if you put the chart of account, you need to indicate something in your company code for it to go. I'll go to another report, LBL1N. Under this one too, it's also asking you company code. You can see company code, right? I'll also show you another thing, LB50. Can you see it's asking you company code? Can you see all where I've gone to? LB60. This one is also asking you company code, F-02. You can see even F-02 will request for company code because you can see F-02 company code, right? /NFBCG. You can see this one is also asking for company code. All these things would request for company code. I'm sure you've all understood why company code is very key and very important. For every other module, they need your company code as an FI person. That's why you are the big boy. The FI guys are the big boy. Without financial, without accounts, nothing will happen. Right? Nothing happens. So now I've shown you why company code is essential. Whereas we have created a company code, right? Let's demonstrate something. Let's say FB50. Now, under FB50 is asking us for company code, but we have created, I'll say JY. Uh, you can see the moment I type joy, see what happened. It comes in. The company code we have created has come up. I'll click enter. If we have not, imagine Pacific. I'm not sure if Pacific has created its company code, but let's assume the company code in my head. I'll just say Adam, which is AD01. You can see we don't have anything like Adam company. And that's why nothing has come up. So if you have not defined in the system, where would you see it? It's because we have defined joy. And that's why we see joy come, right? Click on joy or click on enter. Now, see, I've clicked on enter. Error has started coming up. Error has started coming up. You can see error has started coming up. Company code not assigned to country or country not assigned to calculation procedure. I'll get to this place. I'll get to this error. I will explain it, but I don't want to jump. I don't want to jump the process. But I must tell you things, the error, because I just don't want to configure the system without you seeing the errors. I want you to see the error so that by the time you get to the business or in future you are in the business and errors are coming, you will know where the error is linking to, right? You know where the errors are linked to. You know, just configure the system. What I've seen over the years and every training that we've gone to is that they will configure the system, they will do create company code, create this, that, they will create everything. And after creating all of these things, then you will go into the system, you won't see any error. And they will just be posting and everything will be going smoothly. And they say, do you understand? You say, yes, I understand. But by the time you want to do your thing now, and you missed a particular configuration, and it's throwing you error, how do you know how to resolve it? Because you have not seen that error before. How do you resolve it? So I want this session to have that kind of error resolving uh, class. Although it is not ideal actually to be resolving error for those who are just coming in new into the system. It's not ideal that I'm showing you error and I'm resolving it. What I'm supposed to show you is to show you the sequential order of configuration that is to be done in the system. It is when you want to do another training that you want to now you now know the configuration, but you want to see errors. That's when we begin to show you errors and how they speak to each other. But I do not want my own teaching and training to be like that. I want to show you error as we go. Now, we have created a company code, right? We have created a company code. Now, I told you what is FB50. FB50 is what we used in posting a journal to journal. General ledger. You can see is the first thing on financial accounting, general ledger. Let's assume we want to post a general ledger. Because after you customize the system, one thing you want to notice is that you have customized the system, right? Let's assume we have customized the system. And now, if you customize the system, what do? You post transaction now. Transaction come up and you post into the system, right? And based on what we have done, or the teaching we have done for the past 2, 3, 4 days, when we talk about GLs, we told you what GLs are, right? I remember we told you what GLs. If I ask you, I don't want to waste our time in this. I could have been asking question, what is GL, right? But I wouldn't want to disturb us on that. I would have asked what is GL, and we said GL are unique. I remember unique. They are unique accounts used to what to define a specific what do you call it, specific transaction, or to store specific transaction. That's what it means. A GL is a unique. They are unique in their own. They are unique for specific item where transactions are stored or transactions are. You understand? That's what it means. Because now when you say GL, your fixed asset is a GL. Your fixed asset is a subledger, rather. Your fixed asset is a subledger. But I mean, your account payable is a GL. Your account receivable is a GL, right? Your bank account is a GL. Now, you cannot post an expense account to your bank account. That's why they call it specific. In quote, when you are defining, I say it's a unique specific that require specific transaction to be what? To be stored in it, right? Specific transaction are stored in a GL. So you will not see an expense GL as an expense transaction in what? A bank. In the bank account, you will not see it. So it's a bank account, they need to accept a bank transaction. That's what it means. Now, uh, that's for GL. That's for GL. Now, I think now you want to post a journal entry. Let's assume you want to post a journal entry. You want to post a GL to GL, right? You want to do a transaction. We want to assume we have set up the system and you want to post a transaction, right? Now, posting the transaction will not trigger some setup that you need to do in the system that you have not done. You know, we are assuming that we have posted into the system now. We are assuming that we have configured the system. Now we want to do journals. Why I want to go through that route is because I want you to see the error, to see their connection. If I configure, if I do create company and I add it to company code and I what do you call it, and I assign it to company, the assign company to company code, and I do the financial global settings setup, and I begin to post into the system, there won't be any error. And I think I've overflogged the reason why I want to go to SRAM. Now let's assume we want to post a journal to journal entry, document entry. I'll click on FB50, right? Now, if I click on FB50, you see what the system is saying. The system is saying company code not assigned to country, or country not assigned to calculation procedure. What do we mean by this? What does this mean? What does this mean? You begin to like, what is this? If you click on this help, this check mark, you click on it to see the details of the error. This is the details of the error. It's telling you company code not assigned to calculation procedure. It will give you some hints. It says check the system setting. To this is maintain entries if the program error but sometimes the solution it will give you will not be straightforward. It will not be like, okay, look at the procedure it's telling you. It said to go and check system setting. Which part of the system setting you will check? You find it difficult to do. Now, there is something called message number. This is an error message number. For every error, most of the error, 99% of the error in the system will come with a message number. So SAP has a table where all messages and the error are stored. And the moment you encounter that error, it will throw you this error message. So now, Google is your friend. It's the fastest way to get a resolution because thousands of people have looked for solution on this particular thing. So what you just need to do is to do what? Is to copy it. I know the answer to this one, but I just want to show you so that you see how we troubleshoot. Troubleshoot rather. You copy it. I think Mohammed is off this. What's happening? So you copy it and do what? And go to what? And go to what do you call it? To Google. You can paste it. Right? If you paste it, you see people have said something with regards to the solution. You see solve error company code not assigned to country. You see different type of solution will have come up, right? Now let's click on one. I just want to show you. Let's click on one, and now you see the error and you see the solution. This person say we are on CCC we are trying to post a GE, which is journal entry, and getting the error message company code is not assigned to country and look at the error message Now the solution now. This person say in transaction code OX02, double click on your company code. Make sure that your country has been assigned to a country. Do you see what he's saying? He's saying in transaction code, do data, double click on your company code and make sure that your country has been assigned to a country. This answer is not that too correct. What it means is that confirm whether your country has been assigned to your company code, not make sure that your country has been assigned to a country. That's wrong. And he said, in OBYZ, make sure that you have a task procedure in place. Now, you see what he's saying? He's giving the answer, but in a wrong way. In OBYZ, make sure that you have a task procedure in place. It's correct. You need to ensure that task procedure is in place. And what is task procedure? I will explain what you get. The task procedure is just like a procedure in which you want your task to be conducted. Now, and check whether you have assigned the same to your country, OBBG. So this is where you assign your what your procedure to what to your tax procedure to your country. That's what he's saying. Now, another person say you need to assign the tax procedure to company code. He said you need to assign tax procedure to what? To company code. Try transaction OBBG and check whether the proper tax settings are maintained on it. And you begin to like, which one will be this? Which one is OBGG? Da. You begin to like, then I will show you. I'll show you the solution simply. Some of them, the solution is here actually, but they do not say it the way it should be. So I'll go into the system and show you now. I'm sure the network is that bad. Kudrat, can you hear me? I think you are the only one here now. Or am I Kudrat, just write on the what do you call it on the message
Yes,
that's
I can hear you.
write on the message. I'm not sure I could hear you. I could see Ghana left. I can just write on the message. Let me confirm that you're the only one that will continue. No issue. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, Kudrat. Okay, fine. So let's continue. Let's continue. I'm sure you can still see my screen. Can you see my browsing screen? Let me see if you can see my browsing screen. Let me see if you can see it. Yes, I can. Good. Now, that's okay. That's okay. Now, let's resolve this error. I'll close this thing now. I'll close it, then I'll go to the place to resolve this error. Now, you go to SPRO, but I'll use SIMG because you guys are. Now, I'll go to financial accounting, then I'll go to financial accounting global setting. So this is, so now, come to, what do you call it? Tax on sales on purchase. Come to, what do you call it? No, sorry. So you come to basic settings under tax on sales or purchase, then you see assign country region to calculation procedure. So this is the answer. Now let me see if additional information, display key, energy activity. So the answer, like I said, to get, the error was saying that you need to assign your country to calculation procedure, right? And so this is it. This is where the solution. Just come to financial accounting, global setting, then come to tax on sales purchase. Let me go back again so that you see what I'm talking about. We came to SPRO, we came to what do you call it, financial accounting. Then we say financial accounting global setting, not general ledger this time, financial accounting global setting. Then we come to tax on sales and purchase. Then we click on what? Assign country region to calculation procedure. That's OBBG. That's the T code, OBBG. So I'll click on this place now. And now I will look for my what? My country. Now, looking for my country is Nigeria, which is NG. And you can see there's no tax procedure assigned to it. Now, look for a tax procedure. I'll go inside to look for a tax procedure. Let me use find to see whether there's a tax procedure for Nigeria or tax Nigeria. Unfortunately, there's no tax procedure for Nigeria. So we need to create a tax procedure, right? Because there is no one. One has not been created in the system. So we need to create it before we now assign. I'll open another screen. Then I'll click on I'll go to SPRO parts, right? Then I'll quickly go to what financial accounting global setting. Then I'll come to tax. I'll come to basic setting. Now, if I come to basic setting, like I said, I need to create a tax procedure, or you call it calculation procedure. You need to create it first, then you assign it to the country. So I'll come to this place, which is check calculation procedure. Let me also bring out the T code. I'm sure you're following it. I'm sure you're following it. So as you can see, check calculation procedure is OBYZ, right? OBYZ. So click on this check calculation procedure, then click on define procedure. Click on define procedure. Now, the first thing you need to do is to So I'll just use in this place now, instead of creating it afresh, which you just need to click new entries and I'll just look for one and I'll copy it. I'll just look for one and I'll copy. Let me look for one. Let me say Paki. Okay. Okay, I'll just select anyone. I'll select anyone. Or let me just select Argentina. I'll select this one. I'll select this one. Then I'll copy. So these are a way to copy. So if you click this one, all you just need to do is to what? Is to click copy as. When you copy as, the thing you need to do, you need to change this tax procedure. You need to say tax NG. You get? You need to say tax NG. Tax NG is the definition you want to give your tax procedure. So I've copied the one, I've copied sales tax of Argentina. How to copy it for Nigeria now? Now I've used tax NG as my tax procedure. Then I'll come to this place and say Nigeria tax procedure for Nigeria. I'll just say tax procedure. Let me say procedure for Nigeria. So, like I explained, the tax procedure is the what do you call it? Is how you want your tax to be adhered to or to be used. How you want your tax to be used, or you want the setup of your tax in your country. That's what it means. So I'll click enter on my keyboard, and it will ask me, do I want to copy only the entry or you want to copy all? I'll just say copy all. So copying all, I'll click enter on my keyboard. As you can see, I'll click enter on my keyboard. So tax Nigeria has been created. But yet, just hold on, I've not finalized. You click on this and click on control data. Now, you remember you copied from Argentina. So Argentina might have a tax procedure that is different from your country. Now, what do I mean? Argentina, can you see? Argentina has a lot of things in their what do you call it, in their country, a lot of tax procedure in their country. But in Nigeria, it is not that too much, right? So I needed to remove some certain things from here. I needed to remove a lot of things from this place. So what do I do? Yeah. What do I do? Now, watch what I will do here now. Normally, like I said, I'm supposed to create this thing afresh. I'm supposed to create it afresh, right? I'm supposed to create it from the beginning. But I will show you. So I will uncheck, I will unselect all these things. I will select it, I'll leave it, I'll leave some, I'll leave some. All the ones that are not necessary, I'll remove them, then I'll leave the rest. So this is the setup. This setup is how Argentina wants their tax procedure to be done or to be treated. So I'll remove them. There are some certain configuration here that you may not really get it on the glance here today, but you get it uh, as we moved, as we continue our journey. So I'll delete all these ones too. I'll delete them because I don't really need all this tax procedure. Like I said, I could create a new one, a fresh one. I could create a fresh one for me by myself, and I could create a fresh one. And what I will even do, maybe I should create a fresh one, right? Maybe I should create a fresh one. So what I would do is to create a fresh one. So, but instead of creating a fresh one, you could always leave it like this too. You could always leave it like this. All you just need to do is to change this. Sometimes you can change this parameter. I can change this thing to say 110. I can change it. Hello, can you all hear me? Please confirm you can hear me. Okay. So I'm sure you all can see my screen. Good. Okay, so I'm still on the screen where I was trying to do. Let me start again. I was trying to do LB50 journal to journal, and I put JY01. Click enter. Joy. Let me start even Joy. And I get an error. I get an error of calculation. So I'll just go into the system. Like I said, I'll go into the system to assign calculation procedure to what? To my country, yeah. Financial accounting, then financial accounting global setting, and then the tax, sales and purchase. Sales and purchase. So you come to basic setting. So you see assign country region to calculation procedure. So this is how to resolve that error. Let me show you the error again. B15. Then you can see company code not assigned to country or country not assigned to calculation procedure. The error itself is on this, which is this place. If you click on this plat, which is OBBG, to see that you can come to additional information, like I showed you the other time, additional information, display key, IMG activity, right? So you can see the T code by your far right, the 40 code by far right. So this is the error. This, if you do this, it'll be fine. Unfortunately, we have not created a calculation procedure, and that's what we want to do now. And I said, what's calculation procedure? Calculation procedure is simply how you want your tax to be treated in the system. How you want your tax to be treated in the system. So I said we could copy from an existing tax procedure. You could select this and copy from it. Instead of copying from it, let me just show you how to do new entry. I'll click on new entry and it will ask me for what I want to. I'll say tax NGN, which I've done before. I'll say this. Then I'll select this and click on control data. So this is where I will now set up the calculation procedure. I'll click on new entry. Then I'll put 100. I'll put 100. I'll also put 110. And here I'll put 120. All right. Now, watch this place carefully, what I'll do here. So the next thing is to put on your the condition type. Now, what is condition type? Condition type is, let me go inside and show you what are the condition type. As you can see, I'll find a condition type, which is BESB. Yes, BESB, if I'm correct. So this is the base amount. So the condition type is saying, how do you want the tax to be treated? So the condition type, I'm saying base amount. And the base amount, you see, I'll explain this thing when we get to some point. Explain this thing in details to you. So when you want to calculate your tax, what you're saying is that if you want to calculate my tax, especially my tax on sales and purchases for input VAT and output VAT, that's what it means. When you say tax on sales and purchases, what you meant by that is your input VAT and output VAT, and maybe some withholding tax in Nigeria. Not even withholding tax. Withholding tax is not, but it's just your VAT, your input VAT and output VAT, right? So your input VAT and output VAT is calculated on net value of a contract or of a product or an item. It's calculated on the value, the unit price. The unit price of the product is where your tax is calculated on, right? That's why you say base amount. So the base amount is the first amount, exclusive of your tax, exclusive of your VAT amount. I will explain better when we get somewhere, right? So now you put your base amount. Now here I'll put the condition for my input VAT is what is MWAS. MWAS is what do you call it? Is the input and the condition type that was created for what? For input VAT. Now, there are places where all these things are created in the system, but just not to bore you too much with too much story. Let me just limit your information here. Now, for output tax, it is what MW no, for output tax is AMWAS, but for input it's MWV, MWV, uh, MW, uh, MWVS, if I'm correct. Yeah, MWVS. So if I click enter on my keyboard now, see what happens. It will give me the translation to the what they call it. You see base amount, output tax, and input tax. Right now, it's asking from which step you want this to be calculated from. We said our output tax should be calculated based on what? Should be calculated based on this step. So you see, it's saying from step. Can you see from what step? Where do you want the input tax and the output tax to be calculated from? Yeah, I'm saying I want you to calculate from what? From base amount. That's what this 100 means. This 100 that you see here. I want you output tax to be calculated based on what? The base amount. And the steps that I'll put is 100, this one. The same thing goes to this place. I'll put 100. Sorry, I'll put 100. Are we together? Then I'll click enter on my keyboard. Now, I'll show you something. The next thing we do, is account. This one, account key. This account key is very important. So on input tax, what should be the account key on input tax? On input tax, it should be VST. And what is VST? Let's go into the system and just search. I'll search VST. So VST is input tax, right? So this account is very important. VST is input tax, and we are signing it towards NVAS, right? NVAS. That's where we are signing the input tax on, which is the account key. So we are assigning account key to what? To the input tax. Can you see? And the VST is input tax. Now the output tax is what? It's MWX, if I'm correct. MWX. Let's go inside and search for MWS. 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 You can see output tax MWS. So we'll select it for what? For the output tax. And that's all. I'll click enter on my keyboard. I'll click enter on my keyboard, and that's all. That's all you need to do here. I'll just click on save. I'll click on save. There are other things you can do on this part, but I'll just leave it as this, just to limit our what do you call it. So this is how your tax will be calculated. So you have created a procedure, which is your tax procedure, and you have created the condition data, how your tax should be calculated in the SAP, and that we have done. Now you need to assign it to what? To your country. I'll Control S, which I've saved already. I'll go back. I've created my tax procedure. I'll go back. I'll go back. I'll go back. Then I'll go to assignment. See these two. That condition type. Remember, the BASB is one of the condition type. So this is where it was defined. But don't let me dwell much on this part. Let me just maybe for advanced what do you call it? We can be treating this one. So let's go to assign country to region to calculation procedure, which is OBBG. Then assign our tax procedure to our country. So I'm assigning tax procedure to our country now, which is NG. Okay, I'll enter. Then I'll come to this place and put TAXNG. If you see, this is it. Tax procedure. This should be tax procedure for Nigeria anyway. Description. So I'll save it. As you can see, I'm saving it and it's prompting me a transport code. I'll just continue. So let's go back to our error and see if this error persists. Remember, this error persists. This error was coming up, but we'll see now whether this error has come. So let's again do LB50 and see. You can see the system is going to the configuration and look at what it has come. Are we together? You can see this error has gone now because why? We have created a task procedure. Let me do something. I'll remove this thing and I'll click save again. So you see it and remember clearly the error message is assigning a task procedure to a country. Why the error message is what? Assigning a task procedure to a country. The message. Okay, this is done now. So I'll just click on, I'll go back now and do FB50 again. Can you see the error has come up again? I'm sure you guys are seeing this thing. The error has come up again. And the real reason is because what? Your tax procedure has not been assigned to country. I'll go back. Let me show you again what I've done. You see, assign country region to calculation procedure. Company could not assign to country to calculation procedure. Get it? Assign country. And to get to this part, all you just need to do is come to financial accounting global settings, tax on sales and purchase, and assign country region to calculation procedure. Then I'll come to this place and assign that tax procedure to my country. And if I do that, I should be able to get the error out of my way. Do that. Do that. We have not really, and we are 9:13 already. I think I'm taking much time on this call. And the system is showing some errors. The network is slow now. I need to move with the speed of light now. Yeah. So let me quickly so if you want to quickly jump on something, you can do that with position. So I'll just say ng, then I'll put my tax procedure, which is tax engine. Then I'll save it. So I'm going to continue to save. Then I'll come back to this place, click enter, then I'll come to every 50 baht. And as you can see, voila, the error has gone. That is one error. I'm sure you have noted this error. If this error come back and someone sent me something that is, and I see that error that we have resolved it before, I'll break somebody's news. So now, let's continue. So now you see we have now gotten into the screen. We are in the screen now, and what do we need to do now is to start something. Now we have document it, right? Let's assume something. Let's assume that we are fine, and we just need to start posting to the system, right? Let's assume we are fine and we need to start posting to the system. What do we do? Today's date is what? 21 of January. So say 21 of January 2025, NGN 21 of January 2025. I'm assuming the document date is the same as posting date. I'll click enter on my keyboard. See what is happening. It says for the fiscal year variant, no period is defined. Can we see this error? For the fiscal year variant, no what? No period is defined. So what this thing is saying that for the fiscal year variant, no period is defined. What it's saying is that what fiscal year do we want to use? Do we want to adopt January to December fiscal year? When we say fiscal year, meaning the year of operation, the year of operation, meaning from January to December. In Nigeria, we have adopted January to December as our fiscal year, right? That's what we use in Nigeria. So fiscal year variant has not been defined. No, the period, when you say period is just you saying January, February, March, April, May, June, July. That's what period means. January, February, March, April, June, July. That's what period means, right? And that's what uh, this we need to define. If we don't do this, we'll not be able to go through. And these are some of the errors, right? I'm showing you these errors so that we'll get to see how these errors are resolved. So fiscal year variant, the first thing we'll do is fiscal year variant. So let's go to fiscal year variant. Mhm. So that you also see under your financial accounting global setting. You see it under your financial accounting global setting. I'm sure we have done calculation procedure. I think I need to begin to note this thing in Excel sheets so that you guys will come out. So under we did this check calculation procedure. I'll just say define rather. Also define calculation procedure or maintain. Let me say define calculation procedure. Then the next thing is what assign. We assign calculation procedure. These are things we have done so far. The next thing we want to do now, the next thing we want to do, the next thing we want to do now is to go to what is to talk about our fiscal year. Now, you still get through financial accounting, global setting. Then you come to what? Ledger, come to ledger. Then you come to what? Fiscal year and posting period. This is where you define your what? Your So I'll just go to Excel here, I'll post it here. So now come to fiscal year and posting period. This maintain fiscal year variance. We don't need to maintain anything here. Now, reason being that some default setup already has come with SAP. Yeah, some setup has already come with SAP. So your January to December fiscal year variance already has been defined in the system, except you want to create another one for yourself. But we do not really need to create anyone. I'll use K4 because K4 is what? K4 is the fiscal year variance for what from January to December. I'll just find out and see if it's there. So you can see K4 is a default setup that is already in the system. I won't need to do anything here. I'll just use it as my fiscal year variant as well. Now, edit fiscal year calendar, you do not really need to do it something here. It's not something we really need to touch. So now assign company code to fiscal year variant. This is what we need to do. We need to assign company code to fiscal year. So these are some of the major setup in the system that you need to do. Assign company code to fiscal year variant, right? I'll go inside and I'll assign. So I'll start from my company code. You can see company code here. I'll click on position and put what? and put JY01. As you can see, JY01 has come up, then I'll put K4 because that's the variant that I want, right? I'll click save, I'll save it, I'll continue, I'll save it. Now I've saved the fiscal year variant. But does that mean that my what they call my error will disappear? No, that's not me. But you need to first of all do this one. Then the next thing is to come and define your open posting period variant. Now, to confirm what I've just said, let's check again. Let's check again, MB15. Then I'll click enter. Now, you can see the error has changed. The error has changed. Did you notice that? The error has changed. The fiscal year variant, the first error was saying fiscal year variant, right? And that has been resolved. Now, the second error now is posting period 001-2025 is not open. Maybe you guys did not see what I've just done. I will remove my assignment for company code and show you again. GY0. I'm going to click enter. Click enter. I'll see ABC so that you see what I'm thinking about to do. /n MB15. You can see this error is different. Posting period is what is coming up now. But I will show you the one that we were trying to resolve. You can see for the fiscal year variant, no period is defined for 21005, meaning that our fiscal year has not been defined or has not been maintained against our company code. Did you see that? So note these things and know where the errors are. Now I'll just put K4 back, click enter on my keyboard. I'll save it. I've saved it. And if I click enter, it should move away from that place and go to the next error. But I'll just start again. LB50. Then I'll put this. I'll click enter on my key. You can see the error has changed. Another error has come up. Reason being that there are still some missing configuration that we need to click the system before we can actually make some entry or posting in the system. Posting period 001-2025 is not open for variants. You can see the error. You can click on detail to see. So it's saying posting period, which is 001, because we are in January. It's saying 001, meaning we are in January. That's what 001 means. For 2025, meaning January 2025 period is not open. Not open for variant and account category. It's saying double thing here. It's saying January 2025 posting period first, which is not open for variant and account category plus. That's what the error means. So I'll show you how to resolve this one. Then after showing you this one, I do not think because this error thing is making us to go back and forth and it's delaying us anyway. So now you come to the same part, which is what? Under financial accounting, global setting, posting period, right? Fiscal year and posting period, you come under it, then you see posting period. Then you come to what? Define variant for open posting period. This one you need to do. You need to define variant for open posting period. Define variant for open posting period. So you click inside. Now you click it, you just define a variant. You can click anyone and copy, but most oftentimes you should do it, you should click on new entry, but I'll just copy one and I'll just say JY01 as my variant. I'll say variant for what? For joy. Those, did I say joy? For joy. I'll click enter, then I'll save it. I'm using Control S. You can use Control S to save, and you can always come to your button here to save, right? I've saved this. So I've created a variant. Now I need to assign the variant to what? To company. You can see assign variant to what? To company code. I should be copying this thing alongside, but I will leave that to you guys to be doing all this thing. You guys should be doing all these things. I want you guys to do this thing and send it to me. Assign variant to company code. So leave assign variant to I'll go ahead because I'll be wasting too much time on this call. So I'll look for my company code, which is JY01. Then I'll assign my variant. The variant I just created now, I need to assign it. If you want to see whether you have created it, you go inside and look for it. I can click on this check mark and define button to look for JY01 variant. As you can see, I've seen it. I'll click on it and to take me there, I'll click on it and I have my variant. I'll click on save or Control S on my keyboard. Then I'll save it, right? But that does not mean the error is solved. Let me go back to our screen and see what error would come up again. We have not really solved it because our open period, post period, we have not done that. So you can see posting period 0125 is not open for variant. That error still is because why? We have not done what we need to do. What we have just done is to what? Is to create a variant, a posting period variant, assign it to a company code, but we have not really do open and close posting period. So this is where the thing lies. This is where the error lies. Open and close posting period. So this is the case. I'll click on it. Then if you let me go back. Let me go back so you see what I'm talking about. Let me go outside. Okay, so I'll go inside. Now, if you come to this place now, we have the variant already. You can always put your variant. Your posting period variant, we already have it, which is JY01, which we have just defined now. But I'll not do that. I'll just click on maintain all so that you can see other posting period in the system. So what I will do, instead of just creating fresh one as from scratch, I'll just copy. I'll copy this ones. I'll copy this one and I'll use it for my own. Yes, I'll click on copy. Can you see what I've just done? I'll click on copy. So I'll just do something on Excel. I'll say JY01. That's my, oh, sorry, JY01. Just copy many of them. So I don't want to waste my time in this. I just click enter. Can see my variant. What I've done, I've changed the variant that was there before. I've changed the variant that was there before. Are we together? I've changed the variant on there. Now, this plus is for all. A is for asset. D is for what? Is for customer. YK is for vendor. M is for material. And S is for journal. Is for whenever you want to perform a journal to journal entry. That's what this S means. If you want to see what we are talking about, this is account type. You can always go inside and do a check. You can see plus is valid for all account type. A is for asset, D is for customer, K is vendor, material, GL, and all. So what you are doing here is that you are saying whenever you want to post any journal to journal entry, which denoted with S, allow the posting period to be open from January, which is 1, to what year? I'll say 25 because I'm no longer in 2024 again. 2025 to what? 12, which is December of 2025. And that's what this thing means, right? Now, these are special periods. Special period are period that you can, after December is closed, you open some special period like 13 and 16 to allow posting to be done, right? You know, some system and some business, they close the fiscal year and they close every time you leave a month, like December now, some company would have closed December. It's only January that will be open. So when period are closed, you have some windows, some special period windows to post. That's what this one means. But let me repeat again. What you are saying is that whenever I want to post a journal to journal entry, this S denotes journal's entry. The period I want it to be open is from January, which is 1, to what year? 2025. Now to what month? The month is what? December, which is 12. To what? 12 of 2025. That's what this thing means. I'm sure we are cleared on this part. Now, I've not done the rest. I've not changed the rest. I'll leave it. I'll just click on copy and I'll save it. I've only done for this one. I'm sure by the time I want to carry out some other ones for this one, errors will come up, but I'll just do for this one and copy. Click enter on my keyboard, then I'll save it. Or click Ctrl S on your keyboard. I'll just save, and this will resolve my error. So let me go back now and click on W50 again. Then, so I'm clicking enter. Can you see that the error has changed? The error has changed. I'm sure you guys have seen all this error. The error has changed. You see, this error are coming up as a result of all the required configuration that we ought to have done in the system. But because we want to see the error in Andy, I want to know the connection of these errors to our configuration. And that's why I'm showing you all these things. I hope you guys will understand why I'm doing this. So in company code JY01, the number range 01 is missing for the year 2025. So what is this? This thing is saying that the number range 01 is missing. Where is the number range coming from? The number range is coming from document type. Now, when you are posting a journal to journal, I've explained the document type is SA. When you are posting journal to journal entry, the document type is SA. Now, in SA, there's a document type, there's a number range 01 that has been mapped to the document type. And now that is what the system is asking us to fix before we can post. Now, this number range, what does it do? When you are posting a journal to journal, at the end of the day, upon clicking on posting document, it generates a document number. It generates a document number. That document number is what this thing wants you to do. Now, let me go into the system so I can explain further. Let me go into the system and I can explain further. I'll just click on N, LB50 again. I'll leave it, then I'll go back to this place. Into wire. Okay, so I'll just open on that screen. I'm opening on that screen now. Then I'll go to the document type side. So this again, you also get it under financial accounting. Financial accounting document type is under financial accounting global setting. Then you come to under document, right? You come to document, you now see document number range, right? You see that document number range. So I'll click on document type rather. Under document, you see document type. Click on document type, then you define document type. So now we don't define document type because already SAP has some default document type in this already defined. Like AA is for asset posting, AB is for account. All these things have been defined already in the system. So we just look for SA, which is the one we are talking about now. Because I said we are posting your journal to journal, which is through every 50, or the document type is SA. So SA document type is used to denote journal to journal postings, right? It's used to you will see on a glance, you can see when you see essay, this is a journal to journal entry. I'll click enter. So you can see journal to journal. The document type essay has been defined. So the number range that the system is asking of, where is it coming from? It's coming from this place. Because the number range, the number range 01 has been mapped to what? I'll show you again under AB50. As you can see, say in company code JY01, the number range 01, which is denoting for SA, which is document type for journal to journal 01, is missing. You can see it's missing for the year 2025. Now you can see this is where you see the number range 01. Number range 01 has been mapped to what? SA. And the reversal document type is AB. What it means that when you reverse a journal entry, when you do a reversal of the journal entry, the document type that will get generated is AB, right? And now, all this check mark is also important. You see, account type allowed. So whenever you want to pass the journal to journal, what are the type of accounts that you are allowed to do when you're passing a journal to journal entry? So you can do a journal to journal on asset, you can do it on customer, you can do it on supplier, material, GL account. These are the type of account, these are the type of account that you can do a journal to journal to. And that's what this thing means, right? I'm sure you've been able to do justice to this. Then we'll go outside and go to the number range side. How this network is good. So I'll go back. I'll go to where we define our number range. The T code to define a number range is FBN1. The T code to define a number range is what? Is FBN1. Let me just close this thing. Okay, so now the number range. So you come to this page, you see document number ranges, right? Come to this page, you see document number ranges. Document number range. So you define document number range. Like I said, the T code is what? FBN1. FBN1. So you come to range activity. So you can see number range, define document number range. You can see FBN1, right? So I'll just click inside. So what I've done, close. So define document number range. So you come to this place and click on it, which to bring you to a screen. And under that screen, what you just need to do, the first thing you need to do is to put your company code, which is JY01. You can see it's requesting for a company code because you could not see the number range 01 on this company code. You do what? You click on change interval. Click on this change interval. Click on change interval. If you want to display it, you click on display. And if you want to see the status number, the number range status number, you can. So the number range now is 01. We'll put 01 here. Which year? 2025, because 25 is what we want to post. Now, you can just say 100. I'll use 6 number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll say 19. You can use 10 number if you want. 1, 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sure this is correct. 6. Okay, I'll leave it as this. This is how so this sequence from which number? This is the number range, right? But from which number to which number you want the system to automatically be picking from. So whenever we post an entry now, the first document that will come up is this series, this 100,000. This is the document number that will come up. The next one we'll post will be 100,001. It will be 100001. right? So it will continue like that to exhaust 19999 something. So the sequence, the more you are posting, it will be generating those numbers. Now you can see it's saying external. Do you want, at the time you are posting any entry, do you want it to be externally generate a number, a document number to be generated, or you want internally? I want internally. It's advisable to use internally, so it's not advisable to use external. And I'll just leave it as this. I'll click on save, and it will prompt switch, and you click on check mark, and you define the change have been saved. Now let's go to our LB50 and see what we are talking about. Click on LB50 again, come to this place, and I'll click on enter. Can you see that error has gone? Another error has come up. But this is a warning message. No amount tolerance range enter for company code JY01. So you can see this is another error message, but it's a warning. It's a warning. So I'll click enter. Warning, you can always bypass it and click enter and it will continue. I'll click enter, and you can see the error has gone. The warning, if it is a warning message, you can click enter on your keyboard and it will disappear. And this error message, with this warning tool, we can always fix the error. It's in the system, we can fix it. Probably maybe tomorrow we'll be doing that. I'm not sure the time allows us to do this today. But now, we have, on the other side now, we are through with all the nonsense on the other side. We can put testing here as our reference, testing 01. We can come to the header test and say testing 001. Now, when we say we want to post a journal to journal, what we are saying is that we want to post a GL to GL entry, right? And I've explained it's in type of GL to GL. You can do GL to GL posting from one bank to another bank. So from what do you call it? Uh, from clearing account, which is outgoing clearing account, towards to main account. So you can pass a bank reconciliation. You can do bank reconciliation from outgoing clearing account to your main account, right? Or incoming clearing account to your main account, right? Now, other journals you can post is that when you observe that maybe a bookkeeper has done a wrong entry so you can use this journal to do some corrections, right? You can use journal to do corrections. You can say, oh no, you are not supposed to post this entry, this cost to transport. This cost is actually accommodation, hotel accommodation, not transport. So you do some changes, you pass some adjustments. Now, do we have any GL? Have we created any GL in the system? No, we have not created any GL. So how do we do it when we don't have any GL? Let me click inside to see whether we have any GL in the system. Now, it's asking us to put some parameter to find. I'll click on this, and the system will tell you that there is no. Now, this system is giving you chart of accounts that you have not created. And you remember, we'll tell you what chart of accounts means. Chart of accounts is a list of all accounts. That's what it means. Now, this, we do not have any GL. All these ones are for other company and other chart of accounts, and it's not for our. And even if I click on chart of accounts, which we have not created, I will say GY01. The system will not see anything. If I click search, the system is already throwing error that no value for this selection. Can you see no value for this selection because we have not created a GL? Now, what are the prerequisites to create a GL? Before you can create a GL, you must have defined a chart of accounts. Before you can create a GL, you must have defined a chart of accounts. To create a GL, or in fact, to even set up a GL, there are a lot of things that needs to be done. Now, we are done with the first error or errors. Let's go to the next one now, which is creation of GL. Let's go back. Now, where do we create a GL? You can only create a GL under what? You go to your financial accounting, not under financial, you come to financial accounting, right? Then you come to your general ledger. I'm sure you know how we get to financial accounting, then you come to general ledger accounting. So click on this general ledger accounting, then you click on master data, then click on GL account, then you click on preparation. I'm sure you are seeing now following, you click on preparation, then come to what? Edit chart of accounting list. Edit chart of accounting list. So this is where you define your chart of account. So if you click on this now, which is OB13, just click on it. Copy this again. We talk it on that general ledger side. Edit chart of account list. So I'll click enter, and it will bring me to this place. Now click on new entry because we want to define a chart of account list. Like I said, now what's chart of account? A chart of account is a list of all accounts. Now is a structured, what's it called? Is a structured account that has all your type of GLs. GLs like your balance sheet, your balance sheet GL, and your income statement, your P&L, all falls under your chart of account. So chart of account is the list of all your chart of your GLs. So I'll just put what type of chart of account do I want to? I'll just say GY01. Then I'll just come here and say chart of accounts for what? For Joy, for Joy Company, Joy Company, Joy Company, right? Now it's asking me what language do I want to maintain on my chart of account. I'll just say English. Now, length of GL that I want to use, some people use 8, some people use 10, but I want to use 6. So the length of my GLs will always be 6, right? That's what this thing means. Now, group chart of accounts. This group chart of accounts is for group accounts reporting. That we'll not talk about. We'll just leave it as this. We'll save it. If I save it to trigger me transport, and I'll click on save again, and then I'll go back. Now we've created a chart of accounts. What next? We need to assign the chart of account to what? To the company code. You can see assign company code to what? Chart of accounts. So I'll click on assignment. So for everything you are doing, you can see we are assigning everything we are doing what? We are assigning to what? To company code. Everything we are doing, we are assigning to company code. So I'll click on position to do what? Search for my company code. Then I'll put my chart of account and I'll put JY01 because that's what I also use for my chart of account. Then I'll save it. It's also trigger transport. I'll save it again on this place. Then I'll go back. Now we have defined a chart of account. Oh, are we done yet? Now, where do we create a GL safe? Let me show you something. Where do we create a GL? Because all these things you need to know how they are wired together. We create GL under FS00, T code FS00. And you can always use this part, which is accounting. You can use this part, which is accounting. Then you go to financial accounting. This network is content is financial accounting. Then you come to general ledger. General ledger. You remember I told you it's always need to know your parts. Now, how do you know that? Okay, what do I need to do here? A GL creation is the master record thing. When you're doing a master record, a GL creation, whenever you're creating any GL, is a master record thing. So you have to come to your master record. Then you come to GL accounts. Then you come to individual processing. Then you see your creation centrally. So this FS00, this is the transaction code. Now click on FS00 and see what came up first. This is the screen to create a GL. Now look at some of these things. These are prerequisites that you need to have defined in the system before you create a GL. Meaning that you must have defined a company code. Thank God we have done that, right? We have defined a company code. Now, GL account type is default by system. The system already have GL account type, meaning your balance sheet, your expense account, and every other account. This has been defined already, right? Now, what about account group? We don't have account group, and that's why you could not see anything here. We don't have account group, and we don't have any. So, how do we go about it? So, you need to have defined account group. That's one. Prerequisite you need to do before you create a GL, you must create an account group. So let's go into the system and create an account group. So you can see define account group. Define account group. So I'll just define one. I'll define one, then I'll come back to let's define account group. Okay, I'm on mute. Okay, you all can hear me, just 1 minute. So what we should do now,
Yes,
because
Professor.
the network, I need to go outside and come back. Let me just quickly do that. I need to go inside and come back. So like I said, the prerequisite we need, oh sorry, the prerequisite we need to create a GL is that we need a code, and this code will only come in when we set up the system. We need a company code that we have done. We need a GL account type that's already done by default in the system, but we need an account group which we have not created. So we'll just do that now. These are not our own, but if you want to confirm what I mean, let's put GY01 here. So GY01, I'll click enter on the sheet. Now let me put okay, throw me some error. You can see it saying no account group are defined in chart of account JY01. Are you with me? Meaning that we have not created an account group. You can see that because we have not created one, meaning that we need to create one. That's what it means. We need to create a what? An account grouping. Now, I'm sure you all can see me again. You all can see my screen and hear my voice. Please confirm on the text. I want to see that on the text. Just quickly do that on the text that you can hear me. Let me see the text to confirm that you can hear me. 902. Can you hear me? Confirm. Can you hear me? I want you to confirm that quickly. Yes, we can. Thank you very much, Gujarat. Thank you. So let me quickly go to sorry. That's uh, okay. It's time is almost time, but let me quickly try to now we'll go to our financial accounting again. That's what we need to do. We go to general ledger because we need to create an account group. Remember, the error says that we do not have. Can you see no account group that has been defined? So let's quickly go do that. No account group has been defined. We need to go do that. So I'll go to master record, master data, GL accounts. Then I'll go to preparation, if I'm correct. Now you come to define account group. I'll click on this. Then I can come to this list and define account group, right? So you can do your definition here. I'll click on new entry. Now I already have a setup in an Excel sheet that I'll just copy and paste. So I'll just copy this one and paste. So I have this. So what are the things I need a chart of accounts, which I already have. My chart of accounts is what? It's, sorry, it's GY01. You know, I've defined our chart of accounts. So I'll just copy paste account grouping. So account grouping will be this. This account grouping will not take too much and this thing. Just take this small what do you call it? So account grouping will be that the name. So what I need is the name. So the name is here, cash and bank. Come to this place, I paste it here. So I just want to copy paste. So I don't want to be copying one by one. So now let me do that. Copy paste. Now you can see I've copy paste. Now this my chart of account. This is the account grouping. You cannot do more than how many this thing. You can see I'm typing something, but it's not taking it. CABN. Let me say CABNN. You see, it's not taking it. CABNN. It's not taking it. And the name is what is cash. Sorry, back to okay. Charging. Okay. So cash and bank. This is the full name of this small account group that I've created. Cash and bank. And the account. Now, this is the codification. This thing is very important when you are doing GL codification. It's very, very important. When you create your account group, at the same time, you indicate that on this account group, the codification, the number, I said I'm using 6 series. I'm using 6 number. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Remember when I was doing my chart of accounts, I said I want 6. My length of account or GL should be what? 6. Remember when we create our chart of account, I said the length of my GL should be what? 6. Remember. Now, that's why my GL here is what? Is 6. 6, as you can see. Now, what I'm saying here is that whenever you want to create any GL of C2 series and you are selecting the account group of this, it will not allow you. It will not allow you. Let's save this one first. Then I'm sure you understand this part, but so I'll save it, then I'll go to this place again. I'll click enter, then I'll do something /NFB /NFS00. Now I want to create a GL. I'll say 147400. Let me say I want to create a bank GL. This 147400 falls under, let me put 2. Falls under what? Your bank. See something. 147, it falls where? It falls under this place. Because after 145, what do we have again? 148. So 147 falls under this place. And what is 147 in this thing? We say it's cash and bank. See what will happen. I've put 147402. Then I'll click on this thing, create. I'll click on what? Create. When I click on create, the system does what? Now, see what happened again. There's an error again. The system is telling me that no PAYOY, which is what? No, what's it called? P&L. Statement account type is defined in chart of account J1. What it's saying is that your P&L statement has not been defined. So you need to define your P&L statement first before you define any GL in the system. That's what this thing means. If I click enter, I need to go and define that. I'll open another screen and I'll define my P&L statement. I'm sure. Okay, let me put my system on that screen. I'll quickly go to financial accounting. I'll go to general ledger. I'll just quickly, something I've shown you before, preparation. Now I've done chart account as I can go to define account group. That's a new copy. My Excel sheet, define account group under general ledger. Okay, this is define account group. Now the other one is what? Define retain any. Can you see that? Define retain any account. That's how we need to define now. I'll come here and define retain any. Now, define retain any. When you come to the screen of define retain any, it's asking for which chart of account. I'll say it's for my chart of account, the one I've created before. I'll click enter on my keyboard or you click on the check mark. Now, we have not defined any account, any GL for our retain any. Remember what's a retain any? Retain any is a reflection of your what? Your profit and loss. At the time when you do your carry forward, whatever is in your profit and loss will move towards your retain any. That's what it means. Now, but we have not defined an account for it. How do we now go do about it? What you just need to do is to X, put X here and put an account. Now, how do you put an account? You need to come back here and look for your equity. What does, and we have short-term investment, secondary raw material, operating liability, income, technical, fixed asset, capital and reserve. So your equity account is also under capital and reserve. That's where your equity falls to, capital and reserve. And it's what is 3,000 series. So I'll just copy this 3,000 and I'll use it as what? As an account that has not been created. I've not created it yet, and I'll still create it anyway. But here, the system will allow you. So I'll just click enter on my keyboard, click enter on my keyboard, and I'll save it. I'll Ctrl S on my keyboard and I'll save. You can see I've saved it. Now, if I go back to the screen and I want to create now, go back to NFS00 and I put my this thing and I click on create. If I click on create, it will allow me now. Now, see another error. You can see this error is saying company code JY01 is not assigned to a fee status variant. Right? This is another error. You can see the essence of it showing you all these things is to show you where all the pointers are, how these things are interlinked, how these things are speaking to each other, how they are connecting to each other. And that's why I'm showing you all these things. Pay attention. Company code JY01 is not assigned to a fee status variant. So what is fee status variant? So fee status variant is just a variant that's assigned to a fee status group. I'll go into the system and show you that now. Let's go into the system. I'll leave this part now. So fee status is under financial accounting global setting. So you come to this place, you come to ledger, you come to field. You can see field, then you come to define fee status variant. So you need to define a fee status variant and assign it to company code. That's what you need to do. So I'll click on this define fee status variant. Right? I'll just copy one of these. I'll copy this one. Starts for I'll copy this one. So instead of creating new one for myself, I'll just copy. So I'll click on copy. Then I'll put JY01 as my fee status. Then I'll change the text. I'll say fee status variant for what? For join. Click enter. Upon clicking enter, this prompt will come. That you want to copy only the entry you want to copy all. Just click on copy all. I'll click on copy all and it will tell me number of dependent entries is 47. I'll click on this check mark to continue. Then I'll click on this to click on the fee status. Now, fee status, we have defined fee status variant, right? Because we have copied from an existing fee status variant, and it will copy with the fee status group. What does fee status group mean? Fee status group is what controls the field on a GL. Fee status group is what controls the field on a GL. Then I'll click on this fee status group. So for you to just see the grouping that has been created in the what they call it already. So you can see all this has been created already in the item. So what you can do, you can, I'll delete these ones and then I'll click enter on my keyboard, I'll delete it. Then I'll create new one for myself. So you can use this as a guide to create new one for yourself. For example, let's look for a general, this one. I'll click on copy and I can say JY10. I can say general. I'll click general. And I can save this and I could also copy for cost accounting, for cost fee status group. Let me copy for one. Let's see cost, where is cost. Let me see cost. Copy, say JY03. So I can save now. Let me save this. I've saved this. Now, we have not assigned the fee status variant that I've created alongside the fee status group to a company code. That's what we need to do. So let me copy this now, fee status variant, and drop it on our fee status variant. Next one is what? Assign fee status variant to company code. You can see everything we are doing is what we are assigning to the company code. So I'll continue to the fee status variant now. Assignment rather, then I'll come to position to put my company code, which is JY01. Then I'll put my fee status also, which is JY01. Enter and I'll click Ctrl S on the keyboard, save it. Now with this, we will be allowed to create our what? Our GL. Watch again, /NFS00, and then I click on create. As you can see, the system has allowed me. It has thrown up everything and allowed me to what? To create. Now, because this is a GL, this is a bank GL. I'm trying to create a bank GL. So the GL account is what should fall under balance sheet. Remember, when you're creating a cash and bank related GL, it falls under your current assets, which current assets is also part of your balance sheet. So I'll click on balance sheet, right? I'm sure you guys can hear me. I'm sure you guys can hear me. You guys can all hear me. Now I'll click on balance sheet. Now, account grouping. Remember, we said something about account grouping. Remember, Joe, we said something about that. So now you can see all the account grouping we have created. I'll show you here again. You can see all the account grouping, and I'm selecting cash and bank for the bank I want to create. These are all the account grouping. You can see they are showing here now. See, cash, capital and reserve, which is capital reserve, and then followed by capital expenditure. You can see capital expenditure. You can see these are all what we are. So I'm using cash and bank, which is this cash and bank balances. You can see it is fine, right? Then I'll put a text. I can say Zenith Bank outgoing, Zenith outgoing. Should put currency, should put NGN. Let's say out. I'll just copy the same thing, paste it here. I'll say outgoing account, and I can put the listing. Let's say 3377176 as the account. Now this is description for that account, and everything is fine here. Then you need to come to control data, and you put your currency NGN. And what are the things that you can put? You can put your task category here if you want. You can put task category. You can put so you can put a sort key, which I'll use 001. 001 is posting date. If I go there now, you see it's posting date. I'll explain this sort key. What it means is for analysis, further analysis, or to see field, other field. That's what this thing does. I don't want to go much in this time. Now, create bank interest. This under create bank interest, this fee status group. Remember when we were creating our, what do you call it? Let me see. Okay, let me show you. We created fee status variant and at the same time fee status group. If you remember, we show you where the fee status variant and the fee status, how they are connected. So let me quickly look for our fee status variant with the JY01, right? And look at it here. If you select it and click on fee status group, so you see the fee status group. Now I want to use JY, which I'll just click on position. JY10 is what I used to create. You can see general JY10. Now, where would you see it now? If you click on this place now and find JY10, you see it. I'll click on search to put my JY10. And can you see JY10? Can you see that? Does it match what we have here? JY10. Can you see that? Text. So this is where how you can set up your. Now we said fee status group, like I said, is used to do what? To control field. I'll put this first. I'll save it. I'll do something. I'll show you something. I'll save it. You can see this point will come. Then you click on check mark to continue. Now I'll double click the fee status group to show you the. Even if I don't show you through this part, I can show you through this place. I can click on it. Then you see the field. So like I said, fee status group, things that control field in the business, from the word field, fee status group. Field, it uses to control field when you are posting item or when you are performing transaction. So you can see general data. I'll click on general data. So you can see text. Text is an optional entry. If I make text to be required entry, for any time you want to post an entry, it will force you to ensure that you put a text before you post an entry to it. I'll demonstrate it to you when we get there. So these are how to suppress required optional entry and that. So you can continue here to see other item. Click on continue again to see other item. You can do control. So these are necessary. These are feed in the system that you can use this fiscal to control. So not to do much of that. Let me just go back. We have created a GL now. Now let's try create another GL. Then I'll say maybe six something, six series. Then under this six series, there's something I want to show you. I'll click on balance sheet. Then I'll click on cash and bank. What I want to show you is this error. You can see account group CABN only defined for accounts from what? From 14450 to what? 1489999. I'm sure you guys understand what this thing means. That account group, you cannot create a C series. You know, I told you when you were creating this thing. C series fall under where? Six series fall under capital expenditure. GGL for six series fall under capital expenditure. So therefore, you cannot use it to what? To create an account under what? Your cash and bank, CABN. That's what this thing is saying. Account group CABN not only defined for account for what? 145 to 1489. So it's telling you that the cash and bank grouping that you have selected can only be used to create what? Account in 14500 to 14899. And that's what this thing is saying. So you cannot create this GL. So this is how these things are connected and related. You have to watch this video, watch it again to understand all these pointers. So we'll be able to do that. So let's look at one operating expenditure. So which is 5 series. So let's look at one and create. So I'll cancel this. I'll just say /NF00. So I'll put, let me say 10. Then I'll click on create. So I'll select P&L, which is primary cost of revenue. Then primary cost of revenue. Then I'll click on operating expenditure, because that's what I want to create. So I'll just say travel expenditure, travel expenses, expenses. So I'll copy it, paste it here, come to control data, then all this is fine. We create task category, but I'll leave it for now. I'll come back to this place and look for a cost account. So I created one for cost, which is JY04, if I'm correct, cost account. So click on enter. I'll just save it. Click on Ctrl S, and I've saved it. So I'll show you something on this part. Now you can see nothing is showing here, but I want to see an hierarchy of all the GLs are created. So I'll come to more. I'll come to setting. I'll come to hierarchy display. I'll click on hierarchy display, and then it will show me this prompt. Do not display navigation tree or display account navigation tree. So I'll click on this one. I'll click on this check mark. Then after doing that, a prompt will come. I'll click on enter on my keyboard. Then come back to this screen, and you see that the screen will have an hierarchy by my far left hand side. It will show me how I've been creating my GL, the node. It will show me the node of my GL creation, right? Network. This 1004. Oh my god. I think we need to round up. Let me just quickly do this. Let me show you this GL that we have created. Then tomorrow we'll continue. Sorry. So F00, that's what I want to show you. And now you can see what I'm talking about. You can see this node were not there. So you can see this is what I've created, 147102. So I want to see the nodes on the other side, and that's what we are seeing here. Can you see that? So you look at the video again, you understand what I mean. So you come to setting, come to hierarchy display, then you come to what do you call it? Display. If I don't want to display, I'll just say do not display. If I click enter, it will tell me the new setting. I'll click enter. Then I'll come outside, I'll come inside back, and it will not show again. You can see it's not showing again. So this is how to create a GL. So we have created a GL now. Now let's see on FB50 whether we'll be able to FB50, right? You know, we have settled some errors, and so let's try now. Test, let's say test, data, test. Now we now have a GL. So let's go inside and look for a GL because we have created a GL. Now, our chart of account has come up. The system has recognized it. So I'll just click on continue to look for a GL and I select. So you can see the GLs we have created. So I'll click on travel expenses, right? I'll click on travel expenses. Then I'll debit the account. I'll also click on what the outgoing account, which is I'll click on this outgoing account, which is this bank GL. Then I'll credit this. I'm sure I've told you how to do your journals, which is credit and debit. I'll put, and I told you what expenses. I said all expenses are debit accounts. If you remember that, so I'll also put an amount here. Then I'll click enter on my keyboard. Okay, my keyboard. So now look at this error. No amount tolerance range enter for company code JY001. So amount tolerance. Now tolerance range. I think we need to end this call here. And tomorrow we'll continue with this error. We'll continue to resolve this error. All this error has simple error. I'm sure even before we start tomorrow, I'll ask one or two of those questions with regards to how to resolve this no amount tolerance range. Like I told you, Google is your best, what they call it. You can always copy this error, post it on the Google sheet. Google rather, Google will give you some insights, but you must be intelligent to know what it's talking about. So I could also use this part. It's giving me procedure on how to resolve. If I click on this now, I can resolve this error by clicking it. If I click it, it will redirect me to this place, and I'll click on this again. I'll delete it, and it will bring me to this part. So I can now define my tolerance group. So let me just quickly, since I'm here, or let me leave it. Let me leave it for tomorrow. Let me leave it for tomorrow. So, but you must understand what we meant by this. Let me leave it for tomorrow. Let me leave it for tomorrow. So thank you very much. We'll settle this error tomorrow and we'll continue our class. But we're still far behind. I think tomorrow we should be able to round up for GL to GL. And then we should be able to start accounts payable tomorrow. We should use to clear accounts payable tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday, if I'm correct. Yeah. So let's see how far we can do because we have Thursday to round up. So thank you very much for your attention. Thank you for listening. And I'm sure you get one or two from this class today. If you have any question, you can ask. You can ask any question. I'll hear you clearly now. You can ask any question. You can unmute and ask questions if you want. Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Is anyone there? Or you guys are sleeping already? Hello, hello, can you all hear me? Anyways, I think you guys are sleeping. I'm assuming you guys are sleeping already. So once again,